TBR getting lost in the library and gathering my January TBR along the way. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, that means you may have no idea what TBRathon is, and that's an important piece of information as we move forward in this video. I am the host of TBRathon, a readathon that takes place every single January. This time around though, I've expanded it so it can be a weekend-long event, a month-long event, or an entire year-long challenge if that's something you're interested in. I will have the announcement video linked below if you want to dig deeper, but the basics are that there are 3 different challenges you can participate in. I've got TBR Explorer, Map of Stories, as well as Lost in the Library, the game board that I will be highlighting in today's TBR video. Now, my plan for TBRathon is to participate in all 3 challenges in different ways. Today, I'm going to be using Lost in the Library to decide my January TBR, and maybe more TBRs to come. That could be something that you're interested in seeing. Let me know in the comments. I plan on using TBR Explorer throughout January. And then Map of Stories is going to be my year-long challenge as I try to get the gold badge for every single location. But back to the game board. As you can see, there are 6 different rooms and a handful of hallways that you can meander through. You get to choose which room you start in, and there are 6 rooms in total. Those rooms include manga and graphic novel, adult fiction, middle grade fiction, young adult fiction, nonfiction, and my favorite, the community room. The number of times you roll is completely up to you. I've decided to roll a D12 initially to figure out that number for me, but this is up to you. However you want to figure out your rolls, go for it and be creative. Speaking of creativity, a couple spaces that I definitely have my eye on as we meander through the library are Cozy Activity and Hobby Break, because I've officially caught the crochet bug. Some of you who've been following me on this journey are wondering, Leandra, did you finish that purple bat you started back in October? No, I didn't. He still needs his bat wing so he can fly high in the crochet sky, but unfortunately I haven't had the time. So my goal by the end of 2025 is to finish this crochet project because I have been inspired to start my next crochet project, all thanks to Craftsy, which is today's sponsor. Since I was a kid, I have wanted to learn how to crochet, but I haven't had a family member, whether it be a grandparent, aunt, uncle, guardian, who was able to teach me that skill. And now that I'm an adult, it feels even harder to start any type of new hobby while maintaining the hobbies I've had for years. But Craftsy has your back with a supportive online community made up of over 2,000 amazing classes that can help you with your 2026 goals. And I can already tell that Craftsy is going to provide me with the grounding to have this be a passion that I can carry on for years to come. Specifically, the Startup Library Crochet. This is a course made up of 13 lessons. The instructor is Selena Baca, the founder of the Design Wars Challenge, the Pattern Pack, and the American Crochet Association. I mean, talk about being taught by an expert from basics to advanced level. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. So even if crocheting isn't on your 2026 bingo card, I promise you Craftsy has something for everyone. Whether it be yoga and fitness courses, journaling, baking and cooking tips, or finally learning how to write that novel that's been in your head for ages. I was shocked and so excited to see that Fiction 101 Writing a Novel is instructed by Tiffany D. Jackson, an author whose newest novel, Blood in the Water, is on my horror bingo card for 2026. So you know I'll be watching this simply because I want to learn more about the author and her craft. And I haven't even shared the best part. Craftsy has given me the opportunity to offer the first 1,000 people watching this video who use my link below in the description to get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Did you get that? $1.49 for a year-long premium membership to join this amazing community. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Craftsy, for sponsoring this video, and thank you to anyone at home who watches this and checks out the link. I promise you, you will be sucked in. Craftsy is dedicated to lifelong learning, lifelong passions, and I am just obsessed with their platform. Definitely check out their community. Join if you can. I don't think you'll regret it. I wish I could say that about Lost in the Library, because the first thing we've got to do is roll my D12 to see just how many rolls I've got. That is the thing I'm worried I'm going to regret, because if I get 12, I will cry. But before we even figure that out, I need to decide which room I'm starting in. And that is going to be the very center, adult fiction, meaning that that's also my first prompt. So let's get that out of the way. The book that I'm choosing for this is The Will of the Many. I'll be interested to hear in the comments if you all think this is a book for me or if it's not. But I'm willing to give it a try either way. I know too many friends who've thoroughly enjoyed this narrative, and I just want to know what the buzz is all about. Plus, I am hosting a very casual buddy read in The Manor, which is my Patreon community, and quite a few of us are excited because I'm not the only one who's been holding off. Book 2 just came out. We feel like we're behind now, and so I feel as though let's slot this in. It's a required read for the month. That I feel like that's a good place to start. All right, I am grabbing my D12 to see how many rolls I'm going to be doing in the library. And that magic number is going to be 8 rolls. All right. Well. I'll be lost in the library for a little while. Here's my ghost. Per usual, that is the pawn that I use. We're going to place him in the adult fiction room, and I'm going to roll my D6. And we ended up getting a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. TBR. Well, I will be rolling 8 times. It could have been more, could have been less, but that means that at the end of the day, I will be gathering 9 prompts in total because it's 8 plus the room I started in. And we already know what I'm reading for that, The Will of the Many. I ended up rolling a 4 for my first roll, and that landed me on a nice TBR space. It's really open-ended. It could be your physical TBR, library TBR. Maybe you've got a book you need to read for a book club this month. That is what this space is for, priority reads. And so I went with Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is a book that Danny Dabbles has sung the praises of multiple times. I've borrowed this from my library multiple times, and yet I've never read it. I am fascinated by this being a mixture of horror and mystery. There being some discussions of like film cults, film fandoms that go a little bit too far, and I love the mixed media element. The book is heavy. It is super heavy. A lot of ink was put into this book because of all of the mixed media in there, and I can't wait to dig in. Not to mention, it is currently on my Horror Bingo TBR, which I've already mentioned in this video. That is hosted by Wicked Reading. Sarah will be linked below. Her announcement video for that bingo card will be linked below because, of course, there's always time to start that challenge. Roll number 2 is a 1. Not many options. We'll go into the nonfiction room. With roll number 2, we got a baby roll, and that was just a 1, so I really didn't have many options. I didn't want to go backwards, and so I decided to bite the bullet and force myself to go out of my comfort zone and read a nonfiction. I really love nonfiction. I usually lean on environmental writing or memoirs that aren't really by celebrities, but I have also been avoiding nonfiction in the last year. I really didn't read as much as I wanted to in 2025, and so I thought if I land in the nonfiction room, it's at least having me start off January on the right foot with a nonfiction read. And I ended up grabbing a book from my physical TBR this time, and that is Cast: The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. I have had this book on my shelf forever. As you can see, I haven't been a member of Battle of the Booktuber. I haven't been a member of Book of the Month for years. In fact, this was from September 2020. That was the month that this was offered. And so that just goes to show you how long this has been on my shelf unread. And I need to do justice for this title, for this author, for all of the people who've loved this book, because I know it's been very influential. It's been so important. And I really want to hear what Isabel Wilkerson has to say about this topic.
In this brilliant book, Isabel Wilkerson gives us a masterful portrait of an unseen phenomenon in America as she explores through an immersive, deeply researched narrative and stories about real people, how America today and throughout its history has been shaped by a hidden caste system, a rigid hierarchy of human rankings.
Yeah, this is going to be heavy, but in a very, very important way. Next roll. Oh, well, I mean, I can't make this up. I rolled another 1, meaning that by giving myself out of my comfort zone nonfiction room, I get to treat myself with a 5-star prediction. that sounds fair. And the book I'm choosing for this is The Grief of Stones by Catherine Addison. This is the second book in the Cemeteries of Amalo series, and I am so excited to get back into this world. Witness for the Dead was one of my best reads of 2025. And you know what's going to be even better? This is a buddy read for January. I'm going to be joining Kirsten, the reading nymph. The two of us are going to be continuing the series together, and I can't wait. It also feels like kind of a nice tradition might be starting, because last year I also started buddy reading with Kirsten. Our first buddy read together was the Hanjin Murders in January during TBRathon, so it feels fitting.
Okay, let's hope for a bigger number. Ask and ye shall receive, but now I have to think. Okay, after some thought, I'm going with banned book. That feels right.
Now, as soon as I had the opportunity to do so, I landed on banned book. And that's because libraries are on the front lines trying to defend authors' works, protect readers, making sure that they have access to these reads and that no one can dictate what we are allowed to have access to. And so I really wanted to make sure, if I could, if the die allowed me, to land on banned book, and I did. And I'm so excited. And this is going to be the first time that I actually double up on prompts. I've allowed myself to do that, by the way. You can be as strict as you want if you use Lost in the Library to set up a TBR to continue your reading throughout January, or if you're using it for the year-long challenge, whatever you want to do. For me, I'm going to be kind to myself, because another goal in 2026 is for me to actually have realistic month-long TBRs, because I usually end up putting too much on and then I get stressed out. So anyway, that's why I'm allowing myself to double up. And the book I'm doubling up on is Cast, the book I just showcased for the nonfiction room. This book has been challenged and banned in certain areas of the United States, unfortunately. And so I feel as though that means it's even better that I'm able to read it in January to support my own libraries and support this title as well in honor of banned books.
Continuing on, we got a 3. 1, 2, 3, cozy activity.
And with that 5th roll, we are officially over halfway for the number of rolls I have to do while lost in the library. I ended up getting a 3, and of course, I took the opportunity to hang out in the community area. I guess they're the community hallways because they are attached to the community room, and I landed on cozy activity. And you know what I'm doing. I'm taking advantage of Craftsy, whether it be to continue crocheting, which is probably what I should do since that's the biggest thing I want to do in 2026, or I could maybe try out cooking, baking, do some yoga, because that's another thing I really want to get back into in 2026. Honestly, the world is my oyster with Craftsy, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for that activity.
Okay. Next roll. A 1. Not many options. Let's go 2026 goal. That's good.
For the first time, at least I'm pretty sure it's for the first time, I have decided to go backwards. I've been kind of following a line. I haven't been really changing directions throughout this entire game, but this time around I decided to go backwards and land on 2026 goal, which I 100% could take advantage of as like a hobby, creative activity as well. It doesn't have to be a reading goal, but we are going to stick to my reading goals, and that is reading more Golden Age detective fiction in 2026. And I've got the perfect read because I have to read this for the She Done It book club anyway in January, because it's our February read. We read ahead, you understand what I'm trying to say. But the book that I'll be reading in January in anticipation for the February book club is Curiosity Killed the Cat by Joan Cocken. This is an author that quite a few members in the She Done It book club have championed for quite some time, and we finally voted to read one of her works, and I'm really excited about it. It should be quite interesting. I'm intrigued by the title, and I'm really hoping that a cat is not actually killed in its pages.
2 more rolls. And I got a 2. Well. Let's go LGBTQIA plus author.
With my second to last roll, I got a 2, and I landed on LGBTQIA plus author, and I had the perfect title, one that I've been itching to read ever since the publisher sent me a galley. That is Nobody's Baby by Olivia Waite. Thank you so much to Tor for reaching out, knowing how much I loved Murder by Memory, the first book in the Dorothy Gentleman series, and saying, hey, would you be interested in reading book 2 on us? We'll send you an ARC. And obviously I said yes. The first book, Murder by Memory, is a great example of a sci-fi mystery genre blend. It does lean more sci-fi than it does mystery, simply because novellas only can provide so much time and development for the plot, but I found it so enjoyable, and I'm so excited to see what Dorothy Gentleman gets up to on this interstellar passenger liner as everyone continues their journey to a new version of Earth. And what the heck is going on with this baby? I'll find out. I will report back. The book doesn't come out until March 2026, so I am pretty proud of myself that I will be getting ahead of the game when it comes to arcs, because usually I am terrible and read the book after the book comes out. So yeah, thank you so much again to Tor. I cannot wait to continue this series.
And it's time for the final roll. What do I get? A 2. Again, kind of left with not many options. We'll go through the room and land on AAPI author.
And with my 8th and final roll, I ended up landing on AAPI author, and I have the perfect book. It's a title that I plan to read no matter what, because it is fulfilling one of my challenges for Map of Stories. I'm doing 1 location per month, and I'm really hoping to get all 3 prompts accomplished with the genre bonus, so I get the gold badge for each location. And for January, I am focusing on the Old Growth Forest. This is historical fiction, and the book I'm reading is going to be Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. I have read one book by this author years and years ago. It was Before We Visit the Goddess. Had a great time, and there's absolutely no reason for why I haven't read more by her, but I am so grateful that I got this recommendation from Gabby Likes to Read. She is the main person I look to when I'm trying to figure out a historical fiction I want to read, because she knows her stuff. She is a historical fiction expert, but she said in the video that she gave Independence 5 stars. That's all I needed to hear. So I added it to my TBR, because if it's a 5-star read for Gabby, clearly it's highly recommended, and I'm really excited to try this book. It also fits all of the requirements for the gold badge. It's a booktuber recommendation, it has a historical setting, and there is at least 1 person on the cover. And since it is historical fiction as a genre, I'm going to get the gold badge for the Old Growth Forest, and I'm so glad that I'm starting off Map of Stories on the right foot. But to be expected, the board did not give me all of the prompts I needed for all of my required reads, so there are 2 books I'm going to highlight before I wrap up this TBR video. The first one is Murder at the Vicarage. I'm going to be reading this with only Christy in the book club, a part of my manor, and this is going to be a reread for me, so it's going to be very chill. When I need a break, when I need to just kind of like relax every evening after a busy day, you know I'm going to be reading Murder at the Vicarage. I can't wait, and I'm really hoping that the manor enjoys revisiting Miss Marple. We read 450 from Paddington quite a while ago, and I remember all of us really enjoying it, so I'm hoping that Murder at the Vicarage has the same result. And then finally, the last book I need to add to my TBR is currently a mystery, to myself included. I have a book that I need to read in anticipation for the February book club hosted by Not Reading for Content. This is a podcast that I host with Danny Dabbles, and within the week we're going to sit down and decide what we're reading for February, but because we haven't had that meeting yet, I don't know what I'm reading in January. So I just have a space there knowing I'm going to read some book. I have no idea what it's going to be yet. And there we have it, my January TBR, thanks to my game board Lost in the Library. I am so excited for TBRathon this year. It's bigger and better than ever. The number of people who are participating not only in the month-long challenge, but the year-long challenge, and saying that they plan on being there for the first weekend of every single month as we dedicate ourselves to our goals. I'm hyped. I'm really excited. And I really do think that I have started off on the right foot with 2026 with a handful of reads from my own shelves, as well as books I need to borrow from my library, allowing me to support my local library while also focusing on my physical TBR. It's the best of both worlds. I'm really pumped. Thank you all so much for getting to the end of this video. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you if you're participating in TBRathon as well. If you're still curious because you don't really know what it is, the announcement video is linked below. Please check it out and let me know in the comments what you plan on doing for TBRathon if you're participating, and let me know if you plan on checking out Craftsy, because they were such a kind sponsor and they really are providing an amazing offer to become a member of a great community with all of these different opportunities for crafting. So please check them out. And in honor of my crochet journey, because I promise you I will get better in 2026, how about you provide me with either crochet needles or a bat in the comments to prove to me that you got to the end. I really do appreciate it, especially if you're not feeling chatty, but you want me to know that you were here and I wasn't just talking to the void in the last couple minutes, then I really do appreciate you. All right, everyone, I hope to see you soon in the next video in January for TBRathon. Stay safe out there and Happy New Year. Bye, everybody.